Three teenage boys looking for trouble, big trouble.
Looks like you overshot the trash can, Zach.
Within moments, they surround someone's car, and they're trying to break in.
Can you break in? I think I almost got it, dude. You almost got it?
Yeah. And now they spray paint the car with graffiti. This man who's driving by has seen enough.
Is that your car?
You can.
I guess I'll call the police then.
A friend of the man arrives and makes the call to 911.
The cops will take care of you.
But the police are not coming, and these teenage vandals are not going to jail. They're actors. The car and the hidden cameras belong to us. We wanted to know if anyone would step in and try to stop a blatant act of vandalism in a suburban parking lot. But as you'll see, before our experiment is over, we'll get a lesson in human nature we could never have predicted. Our teenage vandals are loud and pretty brazen in broad daylight, yet people continue to walk right by. Do they think the boys are trashing their own car? Well, even when it becomes clear the car is not the boys, many keep right on going.
I hope that's your car.
Yeah, I'm spray painting my own car.
You being sarcastic?
Yeah.
This woman seems to be almost joking with the boys. Almost.
Don't do mine, please. I can't do it.
Dozens of people have walked by, yet only a handful have challenged them. But we're about to discover that if this kind of vandalism in broad daylight doesn't get much attention, something else does, something we could have never imagined. Remember, all that destruction by our vandals triggered just one 911 call. But it turns out 2 other calls were made to 911 from the same park.
911, where's the emergency?
In Richwood, New Jersey.
But those calls were about another car parked nearby.
A couple guys in the car laying down like they look like possibly they're getting ready to rob somebody.
Rob somebody? How does he know that? The caller hangs up, but a few moments later, he's back.
You got 3 black kids laying in the car, and there's a lot of little kids in around. I'm just keeping an eye on them.
In fact, the young people in the car are just sleeping. They also just happen to be black.
Whether it's because of the media, because of history, we as Americans have an association of blacks with crime. Both blacks and whites have that association of blacks with crime.
It doesn't make sense. You call the cops on sleeping kids and not the vandals.
There's nothing rational. But if we have the associations of blacks with crime, we see what we expect. And even if they're sleeping, we can make that into a potential criminal act.
If that had been white kids sleeping,
then they'd be white kids sleeping.
The people in the car were African American, and they were just sleeping. We know because we invited them here. They're friends and relatives of another set of actors hired by us for the second part of our experiment. What'll happen if we change the race of those vandals? And if this group could trigger 911 calls just by dozing in their car, what'll happen when we send these black teenagers out to do some real damage? As she walks by the vandals, this woman is already on her cell phone.
Yeah, I'm at the Ridgewood Fund, and by the walking path, there's a group of 1, 2, 3 kids.
This woman asks the boys what they're up to.
No, we ain't doing nothing, man. Just having fun, man.
While maintaining a safe distance, she also calls 911.
So there's kids that are beating up on a car. How many kids? 3 kids, black or white. They all 3 look like they're just black. Black males. Yep.
The destruction continues, and it's clear that in this predominantly white suburb, our 3 African-American vandals are generating more interventions and more calls to 911 than the white vandals.
Hey, is that your car?
No? Is it yours?
No, but you shouldn't be doing that.
I felt outraged. How dare you come to our backyard and do something like that in the middle of the day in front of our kids? I don't care where you're from. I don't care what color you are. You're doing something illegal. And so immediately I decided to call the police.
What I found fascinating is that she defined that situation as her backyard.
Suddenly it becomes us against them.
It was clear then that these people are outsiders, and they don't belong here, and they don't belong here doing the things that they're doing.
So what difference did it make when we changed the vandals' race? A total of 10 calls to 911 compared to 1 call when the vandals were white. and more people stepped in.
They probably recognize that there's vandalism going on more because these kids are black, because of the associations, the expectations, the stereotypes they have, and the fact that these kids are from a different neighborhood.
By intervening or calling 911 on the black vandals, people are doing the right thing. But the white vandals were more likely to get a pass. Obviously what you guys were doing was wrong, and what the white kids were doing was wrong. But the reaction was not the same.
That's not the same. You know, they say, you know, treat people equally, but, you know, as you see, you know, it's really still going on. You know, there's many different types of racism.
But the response to their vandalism isn't what these young men will remember most about this experience. They'll remember that while the white actors were busy laying waste to that car, there were 2 911 calls reporting suspicious African Americans asleep in their car. The people in that car were actor Justin Chandler's family.
These kids are destroying this car and trying to break in. They're not even worried about it.
Meanwhile, they worried about Justin's family over
Sleeping
in the car.
Being black.
It's wrong. Well, I mean, here we are breaking into a car, and there they are sleeping, you know?
I actually wasn't even shocked. I was just sort of offended.
Tells me that there's still racism out here, and people are frightened by people color their skin.
Your message to folks?
It'll be a better world if we could stop racism. I don't know if that's going to happen because it's such a big world, but you can help to stop. There's always someone that
maybe this will help.
Yeah, this will help. Maybe this could help. It'll take a real long time.
But maybe this will make a difference.
Hopefully, yeah.